สวัสดีครับ Greetings from Bangkok. Kasit Piromya once again in the going into the third week of the month of November 2024. And it has been more than a week now that the international community has come to know about the result of the presidential elections in the United States. The return of Mr. Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States. It will be his second time as the President of the United States. And in his first presidency, starting I think in 2016, he came with the word to make America great again. And since then, and especially during the campaign before the 5th of November, he keeps on repeating the words to make America great again. What does it mean? And I would like to take this opportunity to express or to show my understanding of the meaning of the word to make America great again. A food for thought for you to further debate, make understanding, and maybe even to say something to our governments, to our politicians and so on, of what they have to do in order to deal with the new U.S. administration under the leadership of President Donald Trump. From my humble understanding, to make America great again means for me that the United States, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, will not tolerate any behavior of foreign countries that would take advantage of the United States. Foreign countries cannot dump their products into the U.S. market. And they should not make subsidies at home to lower the cost of production and to make export prices very competitive. No more unfair trade practices. And to counter such unfair trade practices, such as dumping of products and so on, then President Trump, will put up tariff barriers. And the case in point is the fact that he's going to put almost 100% custom tariffs of the Chinese electric vehicles coming to the shores of the United States. It will be a demonstration of the displeasure on the part of the United States side and the willingness to go into the trade war as long as there is a perception of unfair trade practices. The other point is about trade espionage, theft of intellectual properties, or even circumvention of the market. For example, the Chinese, they will not be able to export directly to the United States. So they go out to set factories in third countries in order to circumvent tariff barriers by the United States. All of these practices will not be acceptable to President Donald Trump. And he has been warning everyone to behave accordingly in an open, transparent manner. The other point is President Donald Trump has been looking at the security and military relationships with allies around the world. And he has come to the conclusion that the United States has to bear most of the cost for the military installations and so on. So it is now incumbent and imperative on the allies of the United States to increase its budget, to share more responsibility in order to continue military and security cooperation with the United States side. No one can take the free right anymore. Everyone has to share the responsibility. And concurrently, President Donald Trump is planning to end military involvements of the United States abroad. One case in point is the support of the United States to the Ukraine in its fight for survival and independence against the invasion of the Russian Federation. And he intends to end the war, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia as soon as possible. And the sooner that peace comes to Ukraine, it would mean that the United States would be able to save billions and billions of US dollars and so on. And that amount of money could be allocated or allotted for the domestic, social and economic development, so that money can be saved and to be used to make America great again at home. At the same time, he will continue his policies of tax reduction, income tax reduction and all of this and so on, in order to induce and to provide incentive and initiative for more domestic production. And for the factories that have left the United States 40 years ago to return to the mainland United States, so that jobs would be coming back to the United States, so that the quality of life and the certainty of life of the working class Americans, the middle class and so on, would again be assured. So there will be a lot of measures and so on to cater to the needs and to overcome the sense of hopelessness and helplessness among the American peoples for the past few decades and so on. Domestic socio-economic development, less military venture abroad, and to have equal share of responsibility with the allies, and for everyone abroad to play the fair trade games. So this is something that we could, I think, take out of the basic principle of to make America first again. But one thing that is quite noticeably quite missing is the word democracy and human rights. It seems that President Donald Trump, unlike his predecessors, is not interested much or at all in the promotion of democracy abroad. He doesn't mention anything about regime change in order to end autocracy, authoritarianism in countries abroad and bring democracy to the citizens of the countries in the world and so on. I think he believes that it's up to the citizens of that particular countries themselves. His approach to foreign relations would be more on a practical basis, devoid of ideological commitment. But that remains to be seen, whether President Donald Trump can ignore completely the rise of authoritarianism without doing anything about it. After all, the United States, the American people, are democratic people since the founding of the country by their founding fathers, since the very inception of the country called the United States. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณมากครับสวัสดี